Yo, yo. There's lots of light. I thought it would be cool to bring in this luminescent rainbow energy for this message. I have got a lot to say, and I'm trying to figure out how to unpack it all right. Because I feel like articulating what we're feeling inside is truly sometimes the biggest challenge, right? Um, I know you can't really see me so well, so it's just the lighting right now. It's just so divine. It's so divine. Like this to me, these like light rays, this is God to me. Like this energy that we can see sometimes through the veil. This is the higher energy, high frequency, right? And a lot of us are blocking it by not believing in ourselves. And it's a part of the human experience, right? Like locking in a belief system that is completely yours. Not your mom's, not your dad's, not your uncle or auntie, grandparents, society, but yours, right? And figuring out that language of the essence of you is the most challenging thing within the self-work journey. But once you find it, it's easy. Because once we know who we are and we believe that we can make the impossible possible, we start moving mountains based on energy, not how, not strategy, you know? For example, I literally didn't know how I was gonna pay a bill the other day, and a part of me wanted to spiral. Like truly, I wanted to just like kick and scream and sit in the victim mode. And then I stopped myself and I was like, Maya, come on, you know better than this. It's like the human takes over from the angel form within. And if you identify as just like a star seed, a light worker, and so forth and so on, because there's so many names for us light workers here. But if you identify as that you know that you're not 100% human, being human is an experiment for you, for all of us really, but it's like there's those who are walking around awake to that consciousness, and there's those that are choosing to be asleep. And neither is right or wrong, because we all have a purpose to the web of life per se, right? Duality is a part of life. The polarity of positive and negative is a part of life. So it's not to judge what is better than the other, but to recognize where you're at, because it's just information, it's just data, right? And I feel like as someone who identifies as a spiritual being, right? And what does that even mean? To me, that means leading with the heart first. It's believing in what I can't see before the thing arrives, right? And coming back to my story, like I didn't know how I'm gonna pay this bill. And instead of spiraling, I took a moment, felt the frustration, and then took some deep breaths and started to affirm to myself, this is where I'm at. However, I know the divine is going to provide for me. And I had to say it a few times, because at the start, I didn't really believe it, because again, we're constantly working on those limiting beliefs that is programmed within us, and we don't even know that that program is still in there. You know what I mean? It's an it's an uncomfortable feeling, right? But that's not what I was gonna say. It's an unraveling, right? To realize like all the aspects within your mind, the light and the dark. And a lot of us have limiting beliefs stuck in there, and they only come out when we take action. How we show up for ourselves is often based on what we believe about our worthiness and infinite potential. If you didn't grow up in an environment that told you that the impossible is possible, how are you going to know that that is true? Of course, you're probably going to have your own actual proofs, right? Your own results of faith and spirituality and magic and what that means for you. But at the end of the day, sometimes we even self-sabotage our own miracles because we're like, oh, like, we don't really understand that, no, this is the blessing. Like, this actually working out of nowhere, that's the blessing. That is the proof, even if it's small, right? So I feel like today I'm really being called to share with you that belief is everything. Belief in yourself is everything. That is step one. Step two, actually, no. I think, you know what? Let me take that back. I think step one is the seeking energy, right? First, we got to get curious. First, we got to notice that something isn't working and have the courage to seek for answers, seek for a higher path. And once we start getting curious in that, asking questions, going to that class that's really outside your comfort zone, but you know your gut's telling you you need to go, you need to go. So the seeking stage is really much trusting in those little inklings that come to you, that is spirit talking to you, essentially, right? And it takes us some time to really discern what is the noise and what is the magic of your infinite potential. And sometimes, both voices are going to exist at once, and this is where, coming to stage two, knowing your belief, knowing who you are, your special sauce. There's something within you that is so simple to you, but so grand to others, that you help people. I'm curious what that is for you. Like, I'm also sitting in it. Like, what is my magic sauce? Because usually it's the most simplest thing that comes so easy to you that you're like, how could I even make money from that? Like, I do that in a second, right? And that's kind of like ping-ponging a little bit, but I don't know. That's coming up for a reason, because oftentimes, the gold that we're seeking is literally 3 feet away from us. Napoleon Hill talks about this. Oftentimes we give up when we're 3 feet from gold. And that correlates with our belief. Belief, especially if you've been believing that you're not worthy, it's going to take you a few reps of believing in yourself to actually embody it and have it click, right? So it's not about saying it once and then being like, okay, yes, I said it, what now? No, it's about coming back to yourself over and over, even on the days that feel like, I just want to click snooze, I don't want to do that thing, I just want to wallow, I just want to, sit in the darkness. And like, don't get me wrong, sometimes we need those days. Sometimes we need the days where we're just in the void and we just need to kick and scream and be in the darkness. Sometimes that's a part of the process. But there gets a point where you're like, oh my gosh, if I keep staying here, like, nothing is going to change. So that's when you have to, like, get up, get all the strength within you, even if it's just like a little bitty, itty bitty strength within you, right? And claim your magic, claim your belief, claim that zone of genius within you, claim your special sauce, because you are special. All of us, 8 billion people, we're all special. That's the truth. And not in a way of hierarchy of one is above the other, but the human experience is special. And like I said, we're either awake or we're not awake. And the special to the special sauce is when you become awake, when you know that you are capable of making the impossible possible. That's when shit just like hits the unlimited ceiling, okay? Because once you believe and you hone in that you are love, you are the solution, you are also the problem. but you're also the solution, right? When we can notice that we're both the solution and the problem, without shame, without guilt, but just noticing it for what it is, we can start taking accountable steps to what I like to call the step 3, the knowing phase, where you start to walk as you know your power, your worth. And you don't know the how, the strategy is still coming into place, but now your knowing is intact. And when you walk tall, you manifest. When you know that you are worthy of the abundance, you manifest. Okay? And it's easier said than done, 100%. But this is life. This is the practice of being in Earth School, is choosing to really conquer ourselves every day. Every day we have 24 hours. Instead of living for the long haul, let's focus on 24 hours at a time right now. Because the truth is, the now creates the future. You can't get to your future vision and goals without the now moment. So if you have this big dream, to live on a farm and be a business owner or whatever, like work passively as you travel, like do brand deals, like whatever your big dreams are for you and your family, if you have a family as well, or the family that you're going to create, you can see the vision. You want the vision. You're dreaming the vision. But if you aren't taking action in the now to make that vision happen, it's just going to stay as a dream. Dreams come true when we take steps every single day towards the dream, even if it's so freaking small. Okay? We get lost in the sauce when we have to like we want to just show up at 100% all the time. But that isn't possible as a human, because being a human is very nuanced. We go through so many things, not only like experiences, but the emotional experience of being human is insane, right? Like, just to conquer your emotions, you need an award. You need a Golden Globe. Like, holy shit, right? But, that's where the gold is, when we sit in the shadows and rise up to our belief and our knowing. And after you know, and you walk in that energy fearlessly, trusting the unknown, because God always shows the how when you're in alignment with your bigger visions in the now, then comes the building. Then comes the building, the moment that you've been waiting for, putting all of your passion, all of your sacred anger and curiosity and, pain into purpose. The building part can be easy if we focus on the belief and the knowing. Sometimes we skip. We go from seeking to building. But when you go from seeking to building, you're forgetting 2 pivotal points there that is going to create more space in your nervous system. To receive more, we first need to empty out all the guck that we've been holding on to unconsciously, and maybe even consciously. At some point it becomes conscious because it gets so loud that we're like, holy shit, like, okay, I am not perfect. And that's okay. You're not meant to be perfect. Perfection anyways is an illusion. So instead of chasing perfection, how can you attract presence, right? Woo! I had chills as I said that. Yes, spirit. I feel like a gospel energy when I said that. Whoa, that was cool. Do you feel that though? It's not about chasing. It's about attracting. So you're not chasing perfection, you are attracting presence. And after you start building, and in the building phase, or as you're building, in the building phase, you are going to be collecting a lot of data. Whoa, do you see that glow? My hands. Whoa, that's dope. Whoa. oh my God, I really am angelic. See? Y'all, you gotta try this. Like, well, I'm glowing. Okay, sorry. See, magic, right? So, in the building phase, though, get it right in your nervous system already. And it's not just being like getting it right? Ugh. But it's just acknowledging that when you're building, you're still collecting data. So again, no perfection, but curiosity. Be present. Get yourself in the mind state that you're just going to be trying things until something works. And oftentimes, it's really perfecting. I use the word perfecting. I'm like, no perfection, but it's about perfecting. So let's change the word. It's about polishing your purpose and messaging, because you have something great to teach others. And right now it's just kind of foggy because the belief and knowing within you isn't in check yet. So once that is in check, you will start to understand very clearly your purpose and your messaging. And it is an unraveling, okay? And once you're building and not giving up on yourself, you're showing up, because remember, you're 3 feet from gold. Most people give up so easy. You gotta keep going. Like, have faith in the long-term vision by taking accountability every single day imperfectly. And after that, you can start teaching, which is like the creme de la creme of everything, right? Who doesn't want to feel like they're giving value, that their life has purpose beyond themselves, right? Like, to teach is to inspire, and inspiration is contagious. Inspiration is what creates change in this world. Embodiment is what creates change in this world. It's not wearing masks and copying others. It's literally claiming you, claiming who you are. And in that, you can, what's coming up is like, sometimes we get lost in creating a new wheel, but sometimes there's a wheel of strategy that already works, right? So it's not necessarily about always like reinventing everything, but once you're in your knowing, then you can apply that knowing to strategies that already have worked, right? And you'll see things start aligning, because when strategy and energy are working together, that's when we make the impossible possible, okay? So hopefully this message had some value for you. I hear Rocco barking outside, so I'm gonna go play ball with him. But yeah, like, let me know what's on your mind, what's on your heart. We're in this together, right? Like, self-love and growth is a non-linear process.